All right, I've taken my step to the left, and now I'm at the middle central table here at the Onell Design booth on Sunday. And I'm here with Chris of Bogland Creations.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. And I'm here with your compatriot Victor, and you've brought some of your own here as well.
That's right. I brought my character Talon for the line that I've named Animus.
Yeah.
It's a Battle Beast inspired line. And right now I'm presently showcasing some actual Microman inspired colorways.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we're. I'm going to get a couple shots of these later on.
All
but,
right.
Talon, I saw your initial drop for this guy go up, and he's bird-like.
Yeah.
And this colorway, the Microman stuff, I really like the previous release as well. There was a lot of these really cool, strong color identities he had going on. So this one, like I can see, like the Microman stuff, the white gloves, the white boots.
Right.
But is there anything that kind of fuels how you choose your colorways? Or you just go with what looks nice at the time? Actually,
I just go with what I like personally, and as long as other people can identify with it also, I just go with it. So like Microman, I've got a Battle Beast actual colorway in the initial release. I've got Angry Birds, which someone kind of just requested, and I went with it because I was like, why not? I was working on a red one, it got messed up. I turn it into an opportunity, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's just on the Angry Birds tangent, because your stuff a lot of resin cast, right?
Yes.
So it's not like you'd want to actually chuck them at a bunch of...
No, I wouldn't chuck them at people. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but just make sure you pay me first for the figure.
And you do a lot of resin casting stuff, correct?
Yes. I actually do the resin casting for my character, and also do the resin casting for Chris of Bogland Creations.
And now, Chris, what you've got out here are your line of Stonums.
Yes.
And these are different than the cannabinoids, the Halloween cannabinoids, the bataboids.
We have a couple of cannabinoids like that I hand sculpted here. We have like jack-o'-lantern cannabinoids there that I hand sculpted. But I was kind of trying to go with the rock guys because I really liked like humanoids and for rock lords, and for some reason I really wanted to make a rock guy. Last year we did them at the show, we did really well, and we said, you know what, we're going to do it again in full force, and we made a whole we made the regular Stonums, we made the crystalline Stonums that are like new parts, they have new shoulders, Glyos compatibility, they have new legs. We made a new rock pots, which are like smaller priced Stonums that are easier to fit in your pocket. And then there's a crap ton of lil'grinds that are all basically like small companion figures to the Stonums, like real Ghostbusters had, and Jurassic Park, Ninja Turtles. There's like that small thing, you get a little figure to hang out with the bigger figure. Kind of make it fun to play with.
Now on the Stonums, the thing that caught me immediately when you showed me these earlier on in the convention was the light piping system that you've got going on.
Oh, yes.
Now you've got like basically an interchangeable piece that comes out of the back of the head, and it's the back of the head and the eyes.
Yes.
And now that I'm trying to remember now the history of it. You said it was Jeremy who came with the initial
when
idea?
I first did these, the Cannabinoids, when I first started like casting them and everything, Jeremy Sung from Spy Monkey Creations, he started helping me with it. He did all the casting, and then when we started doing the Stonum, he's a huge Inhumanoids fan also. So he's like, I want to do light piping, and I'm like, can you do that on a resin head? He's like, yeah, I can give it a shot. I'm like, well then go and do it, make it happen. And he did it, and it came out great. And the light piping, this looks really good. The light comes in through a nice big open thing in the back, and it really illuminates very well. So we kind of took what he did and went with that a little forward. Even one of our rock pots has light piping in it. We ran some technical difficulties before the show, so he's the only one right now who has light piping.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that we want to incorporate in all the Stonum guys because it really kind of sells them very well.
Cool, and the interchangeability as well is that, I mean, one thing that it's hard to get it across in shots without like a full studio lighting setup, but these things catch light as well as Fall of Cybertron Starscream, who is one of the greatest light piping toys I've seen in the last year. Yeah. And these things blaze up. But the swappability is also what really caught my interest in the fact that you could get one of these and have like options like I don't want the eyes to be red, I want them to be green. Yeah. And in getting the eye pieces to catch that much light, that comes down to the casting, correct? Like getting the right mix of resin and the right translucence.
Yeah, and it's I'm gonna have to plug Smooth on here because they make some fantastic dyes, and a lot of the credit goes to them. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be casting such great pieces.
Yeah. Well, the whole casting process you got going on here. Now there's a whole lot of guys out here, and you've sold a couple already as well. In fact, one of my roommates has one.
Nice.
And like to get out like a run of like say like 20, 30 Stonums ready for a show like this, how much of an undertaking is that?
Well, I like to plan ahead and I figure out the colorways, and then it just takes me, depending on how big the run is, it can take me like a couple of days to like a month.
Yeah.
For this show, it was basically a month that I took preparation.
So it's like a pretty solid, like pretty big time commitment, getting it all put together.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we picked the colorways, and then I just kind of went, and I was nonstop from when I woke up to when I went to bed, just nothing but casting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How are I don't know much about resin casting. Are there a lot of fumes coming out of that, or is it?
Yeah, there's quite a bit, but fortunately I work right in front of a window.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say, like, eventually that must be like day 15 or 16. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, it's like a burnt out junkie.
Now you also did the backdrop artwork we're seeing here, right?
That's right.
How long? Like, when did you do that? Like, was that something you did early on, or was this something that came about during the process?
No, this is something that came out early on.
We were gonna do a whole line inspired by Battle Beasts, where it was rock versus lava versus ice. So we wanted to have the packaging artwork with this, much like the Inhumanoids had a big wrap around the entire box with a big scene of destruction. We wanted to do something similar, so I had asked Victor make a painting looking like this, and he blew it out of the water. There's actually lots of hidden things. There's like Hook Mountain from Thundercats, the Ice Palace from Black Star. Actually, one of the granites from Inhumanoids is sitting right there, kind of tucked up, hidden.
Oh, that's cool.
So he did a lot of really awesome work. I'm like, we should print it out, bring it to the show to show people. It's just really awesome. This is now Stonum's homeworld, like eons ago, before they even came to the Glyos system and started helping them Glyons against the Armivore. So we kind of wanted to tap into that. But right now, we're still focusing on the Stonum because people seem to really like the rock guys. So we're trying to see what the public want. Let's go in that direction, not fight the current, but just ride with it.
Cool. And keeping these in kind of quote unquote in universe with all the rest of the dudes who operate with the Glyos system and kind of in that larger universe. Is it like, what kind of a sandbox is that? It must be nice to play in a sandbox like that, where
totally.
you're like you kind of jump in, you have an idea, but you can easily and collaboratively link it to whatever else anyone else is doing.
Well, that works well with the Armivore because they're a big villain. So we're like, you know what? The Stonum were in hiding for centuries, and they saw what was going on in the Glyos system, and they're like, you know what? We can't sit idly by and not help what's going on. We need to fight. And they're like, you know what? You're right. So the Stonum organized and showed up, and the Armivore were like, what the heck are these guys? And they're like, we're here to kick your ass. And they just kind of show up, and it's huge amounts of fighting. So we had a lot of fun with it. And I've had characters from, this is Daimon. He's a character I drew when I was a kid. And he came into the Stonum universe because I was like, you know what? We can do clears. I want to make him as a character because at least one of the characters I drew when I was like 15 years old is in this, and that, to me, that's really cool.
And that's one of the things I've talked about with other fellows as well at this table, but one of the things I find so beautiful about the whole process of creating an indie toy and having it realized in physical form is often there is something drawn from a character that, as a kid or as a teenager you drew in your notebook, you had in your mind, and it must be a cool feeling, like being able to hold on to a representation of it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I actually have plans to make a lot of other Stonums I drew as a kid into figures, either as customs or as production resin pieces, so we can actually have access to this, because it's fun to be able, like you said, take something that you had in your head. Because I never knew I could sculpt. I just started working on it like 6 years ago, and all of a sudden I had it, and I'm like, okay, I'll roll with it. So it was cool to me, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
And just like, I guess, like, as a hypothetical thing, like, so you have Talon here from your Animus run, and it's kind of cool just seeing him next to the Stonums, because this kind of, I think, communicates the point I was talking about of, like, you've got your own character here,
right?
With his own story, his own identity, but he also looks totally at home, sitting next to this entirely different aesthetic. They all have that one shared kind of unifying thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that I agree. That's the beauty of it, and it's we talked to Matt a lot, and it's a lot. I mean, one thing he always emphasizes is just to kind of work together and collaborate and just have a lot of fun with it. And I think that's the basic spirit of just working in this community of Glyos. Just do what you want and have fun with it, because that's what toys are really about, That's kind of part of the reason why Chris and I are working together, because besides being Glyos fans, we just love toys, and it's going to show in everything that we do. So be it Microman or be it Inhumanoids, it just fits, and it even got to a point where Chris and I have discussed certain points in our stories where like it's a shared universe. Like we've ended up sharing the universe where there's a small tribe of Stonums living on Animus. Now I really won't say much more because I'm working on a comic, but there are things that's gonna happen, and it's like Chris said before also though, there's a big baddie on Animus, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's a character that everyone knows from Glyos. So there's just always a connective tissue. It all relates.
Yeah.
That's what makes it cool, because it's like when you're a kid. See, like you said before about the sandbox analogy, everybody's sitting around playing. You're like, I got my character. Can I come play with you? And they're like, yeah, sure, jump on in.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is fun about it. So like, that's why the Stonum were cool to jump in, because they're a good race. Most of them are heroic. There's a few, crumb bums in there, if you will, because that's how it is everywhere. But you can have like some good Stonums hanging out with Talon and the other characters he's created, while hanging out with Faden or hanging out with the guys from Nemo's studio and the other guys. Yeah, exactly. You can do everybody, and that's what makes it fun. Because, like with comic books, when we see crossovers, we like that. It's like, it's Spider-Man and the X-Men. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to see everybody mix up and go on adventures and stuff.
Well, I mean, it reminds me a lot of my time in the now unfortunately past MMO City of Heroes.
Oh yeah.
I was on the Virtue server where a lot of us would kind of play in character, and the best times where you had that feeling is like I'm playing my superhero character, you team up with a bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
Their personalities all kind of mix like different characters from different books.
Yeah.
Go and have some fun with that. And this feels like a big step forward from that kind of sensation, but there's still a parallel in there to me.
I had a character in City of Heroes called the Stone Ram, and he had rock powers, he had horns. So I want to try to sculpt a ram Stonum and put him into the story. This guy's really cool. Because I'm like, what's wrong with a animal rock person that looks like a ram? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just gotta sit down and do it.
That's very cool. Thanks for the chat.
No
So the
problem,
stuff you've got
anytime.
out, you got the lil'grinds, you got the rock pots and the Stonums. Is there a way for folks to get online to get a hold of these things
sure.
as well?
Go over to our website, boglinCreations.com. You can also jump through it from the Glyos website. They always have links up there and stuff. And anything that doesn't sell here at the show will be up probably by Friday to get for those of you guys who weren't able to come.
And for the Animus, have you got your own setup for selling things online?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook at Cassette Man Studios, and also cassettemanstudios.blogspot.com.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, and I hope the rest of New York Comic Con goes well. And I want to see the rest of this story. So.
Me too.
That makes me too. So, yeah,
Time is always your enemy and also an ally. So it's kind of like, depends on what mood it's in. We'll see how things go.
All right, cool. Thanks very much.
No problem. Anytime.